and I travel the world doing what I love, and obviously you guys love, and that's hairdressing. I'm a hairdresser. I work through with textured hair to barbering to long hair to afro hair. I am currently the British hairdressing afro hairdresser of the year, and I've won quite a numerous awards. But it's one of them things. We're all at different paths of our career, and it's just how far you want to push yourself. So guys, I am going to take you through a little bit of equipment first. So first of all, what we're going to be doing is taking you through a few hair hacks. I've got my trolley right in front of me, and some of the stuff on here is stuff we use every day. So I'm going to take you through this comb set. So the comb sets are really, well, how would we say? A lot of people choose a comb for the colour, but the reason behind coloured combs for me is really simple. I use a white comb on dark hair, I use a dark comb on blonde hair, and a coloured comb, this one's red, on any type of hair. The reason is because I want to see the blonde hair through this when I'm doing my scissor over comb, and the same black hair, I want to see the hair with this, and this you can see with any kind of hair colour. So black hair I use on blonde hair, dark hair I use the white comb, and my red comb or coloured comb I will be using it on any type of hair. And it always comes in the same with your barbering. Your barbering is your black and your white, or any other colour that you do. Like we say, you guys can say it: black comb, blonde hair, white comb, dark hair. Another thing that everybody uses is scissors. Now I use a straight scissor and a offset scissor. I have about 10 pairs of scissors. We're very much like builders. We should not just go into a place to build. We're never going to a house with a saw and a hammer. You'll have every tool for the job. And it's the same with us. I have 10 pairs of scissors for every kind of hair. I have a straight scissor for nice straight lines and to do my edge work. And I have my offset scissors for my chipping in, my slicing. The difference with an offset scissor and a straight scissor is this. So you can see behind the offset scissor and the straight scissor. So I want to show you, if I pull my layers up, you tell me which one points down first. It's the offset scissor. But look how nice my elbow is. My elbow's straight and it works, it's more comfortable. If I work with a straight scissor on doing the layers, watch my elbow and my shoulders pop up. It's not as comfortable. So remember guys, use your offset scissors for chipping in. It'll work better with your shoulders, it will save you, and it will just help to kind of maintain your body, because we have to maintain our bodies just because they're what pay the bills. If we damage our body, like myself, we can't work, but I am technically working. I actually was only meant to have 3 weeks off, I had 3 days off. So, my other scissors that I do have is I have 3 pairs of, you guys may call them thinning scissors. I call them Texturizers Shears, blending shears, and a shaping shear. This one with the wider teeth is my texturizing shear, because the wider the tooth, it adds more texture. This one is my shaping shear, a little bit wider, but it's like in between this one, which is the most commonly used one, and that's the one that has the most teeth, and I call this a blending shear. We do this to blend the sides up, and I actually work with shape with both of these. I also work with 2 clippers. I love these wall seniors because they're great with my fading work, and the super taper is what more or less everybody has. The difference with these is that the super taper is more of a beveled edge on it, so it curves. The best thing about this super taper, this senior, is that it's straight, so you can actually crunch out that blend line. So a lot of people find it hard to blend out that fade line, or that line that you put into a short to long. And this is amazing just to this is my all-round clipper. This is great just to work them lines out. And because of the flat blade, it's easy just to crunch them lines out. Then we're going to be using with our brushes, the most commonly brush that a lot of barbers have, excuse me, we've got a little bit of hair caught on it then, is this brush. This is really good with the nylon bristles. Nylon bristles add smoothness to the hair, add a little bit of volume. But then we've got bristles in here, which are boar bristles. We have boar bristles in here. And what boar bristles do, we add that little bit of volume into the hair. Now, adding that little bit of volume into the hair is great if anybody has got fine hair, you want that little pompadour at the front, and it's just going to give you a little bit more lift. And then we have a commonly used brush, which is actually used on giving a little bit more smoothness. You can use a Denman brush or like a smoothing brush, or this is like an in-between one. So this is really great just to get them nice classic lines that just come back. And that's what we're going to be using on our client today, or our doll's head. So that's a little bit about the stuff that we're going to be using today. I'm going to pre-cut one side of the doll's head, and then we're going to be cutting it on the other side to show you how I've done it. We're going to be working in number order, and I'll explain that when I come to cut the doll's head. Hi guys, so we're here with my model. As you can see, we've pre-cut one of the sides at the moment. So what we have done is we've taken the scissor, or taken the sections in a diagonal section coming all the way back, and as soon as we've got to about near the middle, what we've done is slightly over directed the hair, so we keep a little bit of a weight here, and it's really nice when it just tucks into the back of the head. So we're going to go through, and we're actually going to repeat this section. We've just taken the weight or the bulk off. I will always say to you people, or anybody who's doing long hair, just literally just take that hairline off. Just literally just take it off, because you're cutting that hair away. You know you're taking it shorter. So go in and take enough hair off that leaves you that hair there that you can shape into the haircut itself. So one way of doing it, what you can actually do, is actually take your notches. If you can see on your notches, you've got notches on your comb or wherever, you can use your teeth. Measure the side. So we would say it's 3 from the longest point. We want to go in, and we just basically just get my little scissors, and we just want to go on this side, if you can just see there, and we want to go to the level which is straight, and we just want to cut ourselves a little guideline in, and there it is. That's the same length as it is on the other side, and all we do is just carry on from that guideline all the way to the back. And we're going to be working like we have on that side. We're going to be working with bringing it back and with a little bit of a soft clip. We started with a number 3 here, and then worked to a number 1, and then we shaped the back. So firstly, we're going to just take these sections. To start, take our guideline. I'm going to stand on this side so you guys can see me. And we're just going to take it a slight bit of a... So we're going to bring our fingers out. So it's going to be longer here and shorter here. So my angle on my fingers are going to be like that. So we're just going to not cross past this part here, because when we do this, what happens, it starts to bend under. So you can see it bends. So we always want to go on the straight part. Take the next section, and we're going to be going in a number order. When I talk about numbers, I talk about section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, 6, section 7, or maybe more. So when I say I'm doing section 1, I'm going to take section 1 into section 2, section 2 into section 3, section 3 into section 4, and you can see where I'm going with that. When I talk like that, you'll understand we're on the same wavelength. So this is section 1 into 2. my guidelines underneath. And I've just finished work. It's about 9 o'clock at night time in the UK. And typical, I look like a right invalid because I have broken my thumb, which I explained, but I've also done the very thing and cut my fingers today. I've not cut it all day, and the only day I was going to do it is the video day, and that's today. So we're just going to carry on, bringing it back. Now remember, the main part, what I really want is the top part, because we're going to be going up and shaping this with the clippers. I'm actually just putting the shape in at the moment. And you can just see the guidelines coming round. And you can see my guide is there, that's underneath. And I always find when you do stuff like this, you want to follow a guide, but you still want to kind of keep it kind of visual. We don't want always kind of copy. We want to make ourselves a little bit more of an individual hairdresser. We just want to put our own little spin on it. But we've got to really make sure we know where we're going on the haircut. So if we know that all these sections are blended in together, we know when we come in with the scissor or we go over with the shaping shear, we can actually go with that kind of shape and take parts of it shorter, because we know like the top part will be all measured and it'll all be level. But then we can just start to shape it into the way the hair. We can actually see how the client's hair falls. Now with a doll's head, it's very much like a person's hair that's very close and sticks out. So I'm going to show you a way out what I do with someone's hair. You always get them clients. Not every client's hair is perfect. You always get them clients that sometimes come in and the hair, you know, every time you cut it and the hair just completely sticks out. I've never cut this doll's head before, obviously. So this is like a new client for me. And we've got to kind of study that client's hair. So we're kind of coming in back. I'm just going to go in and bring my chair in. And I'm just going to kind of see what the back's like. And we can just see here, don't know if you can see that. Just move my camera around a little bit. Here, what we need to do is just bring everything down and just take that corner off. I just want to soften it in a little bit more. And we want to basically cross the graduation over slightly. So you can see the guideline there. We've got a very slight corner there. Because this is cut exactly the same on both sides, we know that when they cross over, it's going to marry together really nicely. But you can see here, we've kind of shaped this in a little bit more. So that there is cut nicely just to kind of get that sweep back. Now this is where we bespoke it. So we're going to go in and we're going to take it over the ear. So I'm using my little scissors because I find that these little 4.5 scissors actually help me just to kind of clean it up. We're just going to double check what the other side is like. So you can see it's all shapes. But firstly, we want to take it down first. So we want to go in and we just want to start shaping that round the ear just nicely. Just give it a little bit of a softness. So when we come in with our clipper, it's easier to see the guideline. So this is like a guideline in a way. Now when we get to this kind of curve here, what I do like to do with my scissor, I actually like to kind of give it a little bit of a like roundness. So I kind of spin my scissor. So it just gives me a little bit of shape, because if I go straight, I'm going to end up going into the hair. So just because a lot of people will just do this and do this. I like to just go round, and what it does, it just gives me that little soft edge. I would have just cut that client's ear then, but obviously it's not a real client. So we just need to go in and just softly take it in, and then what you do is get that kind of nice little roundness. Now remember, this is just very bespokely or very kind of softly done, because we're going to be going in with a clipper. Now this part here, what we want to do is go over and just do a bit of scissor over comb. And you can see what I was talking about with the white comb. You can see the dark hair through the white comb. So we want to just go in, follow still the guideline that we put in. And when I mean about guideline, the shape of the hair. We want to follow the shape, because we know that shape is going like this. So we want to cut our scissor over comb like this. We don't want to be cutting it flat. We want to be cutting it with an edge on it, a nice softness to it. So we want to go in firstly with the scissors, just little ones, just to kind of get that nice little soft edge. And just imagine when you do your scissor over comb that this is your clipper part and this is the stationary part on the clipper. We don't want to be like that, because what that's going to do is create marks in the hair. So once we can see that angle start to form, what's a great way of doing is going in with your number 3 on your super taper, what most people have got. We're going to do an open blade, and we want to just flick out. We're not going any higher because we don't want to take that weight away from here. We start to flick out about here, and you can hear it. If there's no hair coming off, you won't hear it. So close the blade. And we want to just work round that section with a little bit of flicking. So you can see how I'm kind of working like this. All about the flicking action. Now, a lot of you may do it completely different. This is just one haircut. But I actually do like to kind of put a little bit of my own spin on it, because it makes me a little bit more bespoke. And also, if you're a little bit more playful or you make things look more theatrical, your clients want to come back because you look different than the guy down the road. So we put it on an open number 1 now. We want to go in. Same again, just the flicking method. And we're only working on this corner. And then what we're going to do is close the blade, take it a bit shorter. And we'll take the number 1 off, and we're going to be using our white comb again. And why am I using the white comb? I'll let you guys decide that. We're going to go in, and we're just going to know where the weight line is and we'll shape it. Now guys, remember, I don't always hold my comb like this. It's only sort of got a cast on. We just want to go in back in here, and we want to pull it out so it's, we get that nice soft angle. So you can see, watch this, we'll do it this way so you can see. We go in and we pull out. If we don't pull out like that, what we're going to do is go into the hair too much, and it's going to create this flatness in the hair. Then again, so we're kind of creating this weight line running all the way around. Then you can either go in with these kind of clippers or the detailer. And what we want to do is just go around and create a bit. Now that noise is just, oh, hello, where's he going? So let me tighten this up a little bit. That was a real client. I would have been telling them to get out of that shop. So we're going to go in and we're just going to shape that round. Look, he's going again. And he's popped off. That's a danger when you're working with a doll's head. doll's heads are not always the best. So we'll just tighten this up. Well, like I said, I just wanted to do a doll's head for you because I wanted to show there's so much. If you can do this on a doll's head, you can actually do this on a client's hair. So, and then we're just going to shape it around a little bit. Now we start to get this kind of shape going on here, as you can kind of just see it a little bit. Obviously, this side's a little bit drier. We want to kind of start to kind of shape it a little bit more. And when I say shape it, I'm going to shape it with my scissors. Now, what did I call these before? I call these my shaping shears. We're going to go in and we're just going to soften them edges, still carrying on with the same shape that we've been going through. We're not taking any more, we're not changing that shape, we're just softening that shape. And we're still bringing it back just so we can get that softness. Okay, I'm going to bring it again. You can just see here, and we're just going to go in a bit. We're just going to go flat on the side. We're not going to take too much of this weight away here because we're going to go into that in a minute. Now, this section I've done on a triangle section. You probably can't see that, but we've done this on a triangle section. Let's see if we can get this kind of level for you. It's what happens when you only have you and your camera. We've done this on a triangle section just because when we do it on a triangle section, what happens, it kind of blends away when we let the hair go. If we did it on a square section, what's going to happen, it's going to end up kind of having this big bulk of hair at the bottom. And it's not going to look really nice, and it's going to be hard for you to kind of blend all that weight away. So if you do it on a triangle section, it'll blend away really, really nice from behind and work on the hair. But because you guys are there, I have to work from the sides like that. So let's just move this around. I'm going to go up and I'm going to just soften them edges down. I'm just going to pick up the hair, not changing the shape too much, but just softening it down. Because these scissors just soften the hair, we know that the shape is not going to fully change. But it's very logical and very kind of visual. We want it to be very visual. We want to use our eyes. We're not stupid that we're going to take too much hair off and then all of a sudden you're going to end up with it really close to the head. We've visually got to do this and just go through and just do a little bit of scissor or comb and just soften that back edge. Now, that's just going to give a little bit more of a softness to that back edge. You can probably see it there. And see it from that angle. So it's a little bit more softer. And when we bring this hair down, it's going to work a lot better with it. Now, one way is really good, which I really like, is actually to kind of dry this off and then work with the final part of the hair and just shape it and bespoke it. Finish it off really nicely. Now, with the top area, what I've done is sectioned it into two sections. I've done a section here on a little diamond because little triangles work better to blend in, and then we're going to be working with this top part. So we're going to just take this down, and we're just going to let that blend itself in. Now you can see there's not that much hair there now because obviously we've done a lot of the shaping underneath. We know we can just blend that in. And what's a really good way of doing this is, what I want to do is, I want to kind of just comb that down, comb it out of the way, And knowing where my guideline was before, what I want to do is just go in and actually take it, let's turn this around a little bit now, take it to where my guideline was. So I'm going to split this, pull that away, and put the head slightly to the side. The guideline's underneath. I'm going to horizontally, which is horizontally is this way, that's vertically. Think of it horizontally is like the horizon, and this is vertical. Horizontally, we're going to pull up, and we're going to, the higher you go, the higher the graduation up, and the lower you go, the lower the graduation when you're doing it horizontally. So we want to put it up. And again, just follow it around, just take them big sections. Remember, it's because what we've got is a lot of hair. Get rid of that. We want to follow that all the way around so we actually get a nice kind of soft kind of haircut coming back. Same again. Just follow that weight line all the way around. Now it's gonna, we're trying to think, do we leave this hair as slightly over, so it's got a slight bit of a soft undercut. Now there's a way that I found out, when we talk about undercuts, sometimes we can call it a collapsed layer. If we say an undercut to somebody, they get really scared. If we say a collapsed layer to somebody, what happens? They think it's something new, but we know it's an undercut. So we follow our guide all the way around. You can see when I go back, it's all the same level. Just get rid of that. And you can see it's just dropping in there. I'm going to take this next part of this haircut, slightly back. And the guidelines underneath. And then what I do is slightly pull back. So it's a little bit longer around the front area. Because if I pull it forward, what's going to happen is it's going to jump up. We're going to end up with this hair that sticks up at the front. So it's nice just to slightly have that little bit more length around the back, around the sides and the front. So you can see I'm slightly over directing it a bit. Same again, through this top part. Excuse me. Now, I know I say don't cut past this line here, but sometimes you do actually. I mean, sometimes in this haircut, you probably see me go past this line here, because that's going to do is create a little bit more movement and a little bit more length around this area. So when you put the hair back, it's going to add a little bit more of a feature to the haircut itself. So I know visually, I want either the pompadour, and we know why it's called a pompadour because it's got a little pomp at the top. We want it here. So you can actually see that shape coming into it now. And we want it easy for that client. We don't want it to be really hard for that client. We want it to kind of, when they put the comb through it, it actually falls really nicely. Or if they want to kind of do something a bit different, we can. Move on to the other side. Same again. Slightly bring it back. So we have a little bit more length to the front. wet, but it's a lot easier to work with. Now I'm working with this big side of my comb on here because I don't want it to be too tight. I don't want to pull the hair too much. I want to still keep that natural movement of the hair. So I don't want it to be really tight. If I use the finer part of my comb, what's going to happen is it's going to stretch the hair even more. But we want this to be very kind of loose. Just want to carry on with the back. We can see now we're in the back area. What we've got is this kind of connection. We've got a little part here. You can see where the graduation and the nice weight line is working. So you can see all them lines kind of blending together. Kind of soften that part out. It's the same with this side. Do this side so you can see. You can see it there. It's quite hard to show you with my phone, but we'll get there. Now what we want to do is just take a little bit of this away. So what I'm going to do is just slightly just take a slight part of this away. Just slightly round it off. Just to soften that back area. I'm just going to bring everything into it. If I take it too much off, what's going to happen, I'm going to end up rounding this off too much. I don't want that to be rounded off. So now we work with that kind of shape. You can start kind of see the shape working there. It just works really nice. We're going to work with this part here. Now, I want this to be the longest part of the haircut because if I can get my haircut out, like a comedy show with me, always is on my training. And it's just keeping it real, basically. I'm going to keep this part the longest part because we want that to be kind of very much like the pomp. So what we want to do, we want to just work with this, work in here. And the shortest part, which is here, we want to connect it and scoop it up. So there's the shortest part. So I'm going to call that, and we're just going to scoop that up. Same again. I have to hold my comb like that. Obviously, I don't hold my comb like that all the time, but you guys know why I'm holding my comb like that, because obviously I've got hot on plaster. And we're just going to scoop it up. And we're just going to do the same again. Scoop it up. Now, what I usually get my clients to do, and I'll have to do it with this, but I usually get them to shave the head. So if you just get them to shave the head and put the hand through their own hair, and then you can actually see how they kind of work with it. So you can see how long that is right at the front here. And what we're going to do is shape with that right at the end. So I'm going to blow dry it. I'm going to quickly show you how I have to start blow dry, and then what I'm going to do is blow dry, and you'll see it blow dry, and then we'll come back and we'll cut into us just shaping it. So what I'm going to do is it's already got its product on. We're going to work with this. Be getting our brush. You may hear me over this, you may not. So we want to be kind of bringing it back. We want to be following it like this, making sure that the hair kind of comes back. Now I've taken my nozzle off because I want the hair to be very free. I want it still to have that texture in there. I want it to still have movement. If I put a nozzle on, what's going to happen? The hair itself is going to be over straightened. This is just kind of giving it a little bit of a guide. And then we come back over on this side. same again. A really good thing is just go in with your brush. Give that little kind of comb so you can see how I'm like rolling it. And then just go through this part and we're just going to roll it. That's going to create like a little curl at the front. Okay, so if you want to know how to do that, all you do is go in, roll it up, like this, back and forward, bring it off, and just have it, let it set. So I've finished drying it, and you can see if you can see here, the shape that we've worked in through the top. So you can see around this top area, we've worked in with just adding a little bit of texture through that top area. What we've done is just when we've gone through, we've actually taken the sections and twisted it round the comb, and what it's creating is this kind of movement. And just we've left it to set like that, and then we've pulled it out. Now what I'm going to do is just put a lot of my final detailing around the end, and we're just going to shape it a little bit more. But you can see with that long section that we left out where we took it here, it's just giving us a nice little section that we can just play around with, and it's just nice just let that kind of drop out a little bit. You'll probably see it drop out itself there, but you usually see a lot of these young guys kind of pull it back, and it's always on the face, and they're always putting their hands through it. So what I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of detail, and then I'm going to just show you how I style it a little bit more. And it's just going to kind of work with this kind of shape here. Okay. So I'm going to go in with my senior clippers just to kind of finish a lot of this kind of detailing off. We're still with a white comb because we're still on the dark hair. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me just see if we can brighten it up a little bit more for you. And all we're going to do is just go in, and we're going to be just shaping it a little bit more. Get the client to put the head forward, and we're just going to shape it into the neck. We're just going to like basically sculpt the hair itself and take a little bit of the hair off. We're just skimming the hair away. Now guys, I'm going to be doing a lot of classes for wall. I actually do them for both wall and Schwarzkopf. And we do a lot of men's classes, but obviously with wall, we're going to be going through and doing a lot of classes of stage work next year. Obviously, we can't do that much with COVID. So a lot of these details that you kind of see me doing, it's all about the hair hacks. We all know sometimes how to hold a clipper, but it's all about just adding that little bit of extra for your client. So if we can just like sculpt it and see how the hair is, and what this does is take out, you know, them clients that when we was talking about, their hair kind of sticks out. This is great just to soften them edges off. So we kind of work it with like a comb, but we don't put too much pressure on because we're going to go into the hair. But we're just going to soften them edges off. We're just going to work round here. And it's like we're using the clipper as like a comb in a way. And it's very much of like a classic cut this, but it works really well. So you can see it just kind of dropping itself over the edge there, and we just want that to kind of fall back. So we're just going to go down and just carve that away. We're sculptors in a way. So we've got this carved away now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of detail to the haircut around the neck area. Now, a lot of this detailing is coming back in with guys' hair, so we're just going to shape this neck in. And what this does, it adds a little bit of personality to the hair. So I'm just going to kind of go in, and I'm just going to take this off. We can keep it softer if we want to, but you know what? I'm just going to give it a little bit of a softness. And we're just going to find that a lot of these guys now are kind of having kind of having something a little bit kind of different. They like the nape. It's like the women have all started, a lot of women have started having the nape line taken a little bit of a different kind of shape instead of the boring standard blunt line or tapered line. But I always think this always looks really nice on like just a guy's haircut. You may agree, you may not. I mean, I like every kind of hairline, but I just think doing something like this adds a little bit of personality to the haircut itself. You don't have to do this on everybody, but it's just nice to, so you can't see me do this part when you turn it round. If you can see that, sometimes it's hard when it's just you in the camera. And we're just gonna just shape this up a little bit. All what we're kind of doing, kind of adding that little bit more personality to your haircut. And we will call it personality because it is. But before you do anything like this, ask your gent if he wants it. Some will say yeah, some will say no. But I do think sometimes something like this just adds a slight bit of difference. And then what you can go in with is just go in with your detail. I've got my cordless detailers, these are amazing. And we're just going to sharpen it up a little bit. I'm just going to go in. We're just going to just refine that a little bit more. The same with this part here. I'm just going to refine it. Just kind of see that there. Just going to go in. And we're in a salon at the moment. That's why we've got Hello Gorgeous at the back. It's a male and female salon. And we're just going to shake that off again. And like we say, you might like to do this to your clients, you may not, but as well know, we can do anything to this goal. That I always think it's nice just to kind of play around. Carve that away. And sometimes it's nice if you want to kind of leave something out, but I actually think it's just nice like that. So you can kind of see how this is kind of working. Just working with a nice soft, we're kind of doing it a little bit asymmetrical at the back. People may like that, you may not like that. Now what's really a good way of drying is drying the hair a little bit different. I do this on a lot of my shoots. Now, what I use is the spray, the dryer, which is my wall dryer. This is from the Pro Shine range. It's 2000 watt dryer, very light, very easy. And then I'm just using some Schwarzkopf hairspray. And we're just going to go in with a medium kind of cooler, and a medium section. We're just going to go in and we're just going to spray it around. And what this is going to do is create, let's see if you can see it. Probably try and get it a little bit closer. And it create this kind of lift in the hair. Because I do find that sometimes what we do, we overstyle. We don't want to overstyle anything because we want to make it individual. So a great way just to kind of give this a little bit of a lift. And then same on here, medium kind of spray, medium heat, medium dryness. And you'll probably see this part here kind of styling a little bit. What we're doing is just kind of moulding the hair, giving it a little bit of something a little bit more special. Don't worry if things are sticking up, you can always go down. Remember, if you guys ever want to kind of come and assist me, or you ever want to come on one of my courses, inbox me on Rick Roberts Hair on Instagram, and we can always chat, and I can always tell you where we can get some of these courses. But you can see here, and we've just got that kind of nice softness to the haircut. If it looks good on a doll's head, it is definitely going to look good on your real head of hair. Kind of just pull it up a slight bit. See here. Here we are. Now, I'm going to try and get this light a little bit softer so you can kind of see it. So you can kind of see this, but what I'm going to do is put some before and after pictures on. You can kind of see with this kind of how it kind of works really well. There we go. It just works with the shape. So a quick recap. We've gone in, we did diagonal graduation all the way around to the back on both sides. We did it in a number order. So we did section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. All the way to probably about section 8. And then we over directed it slightly. We sectioned it off into a triangle section. What we did with the triangle section, we had 2 triangle sections through the top area. So we had a section here where it was kind of left on its own, but we knew that at this point we wanted a little bit longer so we could create this kind of shape coming all the way around. And then what we've done is just brought everything from the further point. So we had a stationary guideline which was here, and we brought every section over because we wanted this kind of soft graduation coming this way to create a little bit more length. But when we pulled everything back, we kind of just softened it all down with the clippers, worked with everything. And I think it's actually a real cool haircut. It's very young, it's very fresh, it's very rockabilly. And I think it just looks really, really nice just to work with on your young gents. Styled it with a hairspray with a dryer. We've not put any wax or any products in this, and it's just worked really well. We've detailed the neck, and you can actually see it actually looks really cool. I actually really like this haircut. I had a few problems with the head popping off, but we got there. And like I say, I'm going to take some pictures of this. I'm actually going to, there we go, we're taking the light off. You can actually see it better now. So there we go, all the way around. Very kind of cool haircut. Work with all that texture. Work with this small little comb brush. Made all that movement inside it and not overdone it. So there we go. I hope you like that. And like we said, we're going to cut this. This has been pre-recorded, but I am going to be on live with any questions. So, and if you do have any questions about this haircut and how we've taken it from long to short, please inbox me. If I miss your questions on the day, on a Sunday, please just send me a message on my Instagram. And I hope you've liked it, and thank you very much. And
trying to get you guys to see what I do as a hairdresser. Like we say, if any of you got any more questions, please send a nice link over to me on my Instagram. I'm in my car at the moment, just here watching it, because obviously I've got 2 children. They're in my house at the moment, and it's a little bit crazy. So the part that I need to be in that's quiet is the car. I hope you liked it, and like you say, chuck us any question over. I hope I'm doing this right, Trevor. I think I'm talking to people. Technology is not always my best subject, but remember, I work with every part of hairdressing. Hair is just a material to me as a hairdresser. I absolutely love hairdressing. I teach completely different than a lot of people. I try to teach on everyone's wavelength. I try to teach in a way that is a little bit understandable. Yes, sometimes even myself, you do get a bit lost, but at the end of the day, as long as I can get my point off, if I have a middle, a beginning, and an end, we always say that everything inside is creative. I'm a very creative hairdresser. And hopefully I can actually meet some of you guys that are watching this video or this Instagram or the live. Big up to Simon Shaw, everybody at the British Barber Association. Hopefully I can get to do a lot more with you guys. 2021 is going to be a bigger year for us. Watch us. We've got so much stuff coming up with Wall. And remember, any questions across the board, I'm a colorist. I do barbering, I do women's, I do texture. And like we say, 2021 is going to be a lot bigger. Guys, much love to you all. And I'll say goodbye from, well, it's not even really sunny, Beverley in East Yorkshire. And remember, hit me up on Rick Roberts Hair or give us a follow. Peace.